LS1 Chev 383 Stroker, supposedly built by a reputable machine shop. I was looking at the bottom of the pistons and I noticed a big scarf out of the bottom of number 8 there, and I thought, oh yeah, they've done that to clear the counterweight, but it's actually they've done it to clear the reluctor ring. The reluctor ring here. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but the scarf, most of it they've scarfed away with the grinder, but there's a big polished area, if I get fingering, right there, that the reluctor itself's been rubbing on. I put it in. The light on it now. You can see how close that is. I mean, that's. Keep in mind that that's the rod there. The piston can move forward on it as well. So there's quite close. So I'm going to have to relieve that a bit more. So I'll set it up in the mill. Pull the piston off the rod, set it up in the mill, and we'll have a look at. Okay, so we've got the setup now. I've set this cutter to the diameter of the reluctor wheel plus 1 millimetre. So there's not a lot of clearance there, but it's at least it's we know where it's set. I've got it on centre line this way, so I'm on centre that way with the piston. I've levelled the piston up, so it's the pins vertical, so we're square as the piston would be in the engine. The cutter is effectively taking the same path as the reluctor wheel, so now I can set it up and give it a run. Okay, here we go, starting now. So that's going around, and now I'll just feed it in. I'm just taking a little bit out. I've got about 0.2 there, and then I'll feed it up. And we're just slowly taking the scarf out of the piston there. Okay, we can see here that now we've got a much nicer cut in there than just a scarf with a die grinder and a scarf with the reluctor wheel itself. So what I'll do now is I'll keep feeding it in. I've got to watch that. I've got the spiral lock sitting in there, which means that the spiral lock groove will be about 60 thou deep in this point here. So I can bring it up and I'll leave about 20 thou wall. But I'm getting horribly close to cutting into the spiral lock groove, so I'll do what I can. And then that's going to be all the clearance we can give that. You're looking for 60 thou clearance on strokers when you're clearancing a stroker, but I just don't think we're going to get that on this one. But still, the rod's fairly rigid at under compression, which is what it's doing at the bottom of the stroke, so it should be pretty right. It was all right before. I mean, the thing was running. It was just having a bit of a knock every now and then. I mean, I've already given it probably 20 thou clearance. I'll try and get a bit more, so it should be good. Okay, I've got the piston back on the journal, and the piston slides a fair bit on top of the pin. I mean, that's going to be held central in the bore, but you can see now that at top dead centre, at bottom dead centre, I beg your pardon, we've got more clearance there than we had. Certainly we've got 20 thou. I can get a feeler gauge in there. We've got 20 thou between the reluctor and that bottom section of the piston. Alright, so now we've got a nice radius cut through there. Not just a scarf with a die grinder, but we've set the cutter, we've set the radius of the cutter to the same radius as the reluctor ring, and plus 1 millimetre, and brought it down till we've got a good 20 thou. We can get a 20 thou feeler strip between the reluctor ring and the bottom of the piston now, whereas before it was rubbing. So we've got a lot more safety margin now that we had. So a little bit of piston machining. It's not easy, but you need the right tools, but sometimes it's what you've got to do. Welcome to the world of strokers. They're a pain in the ass.